Hey there, before we dive in, I just want to say, if you enjoy stories like these, don't forget to follow our channel so you won't miss this or any future videos. And it really helps us out if you subscribe, leave a like or drop a comment. Your support keeps us going, so thanks a lot. In the heart of France, archaeologists uncovered an ancient Celtic cemetery in the village of Cresenove, a strategic location between Gallic tribes during the Iron Age. During excavations in 2022, over 100 tombs were discovered, spread across a burial area of about 650 square meters. Although the acidic soil prevented bone preservation, many metal artifacts like pins, bracelets and personal jewellery were found in good condition. The most impressive finds were two swords, more than 2,000 years old, both still in their original scabbards. One sword, decorated with spirals, swastikas, oval-shaped ornaments and glass inlays, is considered one of the finest Celtic swords ever discovered in Europe. The other, simpler in design, still had pieces of fabric clinging to its sheath. These weapons, apart from their beauty and craftsmanship, give clues about the social status of their owners. Items like swords and jewellery could symbolize power or prestige, and their presence in graves suggests they had a spiritual or symbolic meaning in the afterlife, maybe to protect the deceased or reflect their role in society. Thanks to careful restoration, we can now appreciate intricate details that would have been lost forever, and gain a better understanding of how the ancient Gauls lived and buried their dead. On the shores of Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, high in the Altiplano, lie the ruins of a forgotten city, Tiwanaku. Though mainstream history places it around 1,000 years old, there's something about its stones that tells a different story. What's so mind-blowing isn't the size or location, but the precision of its architecture. Some stone blocks weigh up to 130 tons and are fitted together with a level of accuracy that even modern tools would struggle to match. Surfaces are perfectly flat, edges are razor-sharp, and holes are symmetrically drilled, as if the stones were shaped with industrial machinery in a time before metal, wheels or cranes even existed. The biggest mystery lies in Pumapunku, a section where massive stone blocks seem to have been thrown around by some violent force. Even in this shattered state, the geometry is so advanced it baffles experts. No known tool could have carved these stones with such detail. Some engineers, like Christopher Dunn, suggest these aren't just temple ruins. They might be fragments of ancient machines left behind by a highly advanced civilization that history has forgotten. One eerie detail: the stones look moulded, not carved, like they were once soft or heated, shaped while pliable. This kind of material manipulation doesn't appear in other ancient cultures, which raises big questions about energy knowledge or lost technologies. Then there's the Gate of the Sun, known for its central figure and repeating symbols. Few people talk about how some researchers found hidden mathematical patterns in its measurements, like the number 20 appearing repeatedly, matching calendar cycles and even astronomical data. In the mid-1900s, researcher Arthur Poznański claimed Tiwanaku could be up to 17,000 years old, based on solar alignments. Although ignored at the time, recent studies support the idea, showing the complex lines up with the winter solstice, as it would have appeared 15,000 years ago. And in 2009, ground-penetrating radar found underground geometric structures beneath the site. They haven't been officially excavated. There are whispers of hidden chambers, underground tunnels, and even political pressure to avoid digging deeper. For local indigenous communities, Tiwanaku isn't just ruins, it's sacred heritage. According to oral traditions, it was built by beings before the sun rose in the sky. Not humans, not gods, something else. What if these ruins are echoes of the first civilization? One that vanished before recorded history? Here's a detail that almost no one talks about. Tiwanaku, like other impossible ancient sites, seems to share a strange energy frequency. Unofficial studies claim the stones vibrate in harmonious patterns as if they're part of some planetary energy grid. Tiwanaku isn't just history, it might be a coded message in stone left by a civilization that knew more than we do today. Maybe that's why so many prefer not to ask questions. In an excavation in Orléans, France, archaeologists found 20 ancient lead tablets in a burial site from the Gallo-Roman era. One stood out. It dated to the 2nd century AD and was inscribed in the rare Hallstatt Celtic language, which survived long after the Romans arrived. Because written records in Gaul are so rare, this discovery is extraordinary. These tablets, often called fairy tales in Romantic Greek contexts, were used in rituals or to express symbolic wishes. They were thin, lightweight sheets that could survive the test of time. This particular tablet was carefully rolled and placed beside the deceased. To read it without damaging it, researchers used modern preservation techniques and special digital imaging. The text, a mix of Gaulish, Latin and Greek, is still being decoded, but early results suggest it may contain a list of names, possibly linked to a ritual or ceremony. This find not only enriches our knowledge of the Gaulish language, but also gives us insight into their spiritual life and cultural identity during Roman occupation. In northwest China, at the Yiha site, recent digs uncovered what's believed to be the oldest known saddle, dating back to between 724 and 396 BC. Found in the grave of a 40-year-old woman, probably a nomad from the Subeshi culture, the leather saddle gives a new look into how early horse riding evolved. Though simple in design, it shows a sophisticated understanding of ergonomics and functionality, offering both stability for the rider and comfort for the horse. This suggests horse gear in that era was more advanced than we thought. It also highlights Central Asia's role as a hub for early equestrian innovation, influencing nomadic movements and cultures. Because the saddle is so well preserved, it gives us a rare chance to study ancient craftsmanship and materials and understand the deep bond between humans and horses in the Iron Age. A team led by archaeologist Ivan Sprajic made a major discovery in the Balamku Reserve in southern Campeche, Mexico. The site, called Kotu, which is Mayan for stone column, is filled with these cylindrical pillars. This is part of a project to explore 3,000 square kilometers of mostly unstudied jungle. Using aerial imaging and LiDAR laser scanning, researchers confirmed the presence of major structures. One of the most important finds was a large complex known as Atun, covering over 50 hectares, with pyramids taller than 15 meters. It's believed Atun was a regional hub during the Maya classical period. Most artifacts date to the late Classic era. The site includes plazas, buildings, ball courts, and even a long road linking the sections. It also features a rectangular acropolis and ritual areas used by children. Atun underwent cultural shifts in its final years, like new small walkways in plazas hinting at big social changes. The team plans to continue excavations to better understand Maya history, promote cultural tourism, and help preserve this heritage-rich site. Deep beneath the sands of Egypt lies one of the most mind-blowing archaeological mysteries of the ancient world, the Serapeum of Saqqara. Known for its massive underground burial chambers, the Cereapium houses these huge black granite sarcophagi, some weighing as much as 70 tons. The level of craftsmanship and precision involved in making and placing them is so extraordinary that honestly many experts and researchers still can't explain how it was done, even with today's modern tools. The exact purpose of the Serapeum is still debated. Most mainstream archaeologists believe it was built to bury the sacred Apis bulls, animals that were considered divine incarnations of the god Ptah in ancient Egyptian religion. When one of these bulls died, it was buried with great honor, much like a pharaoh. The Cereapium, then, was their eternal resting place. The complex was rediscovered in the 19th century by French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette, who was amazed by the size and preservation of the tombs and chambers. Over time, excavations revealed a vast network of tunnels and rooms, stretching hundreds of meters underground, all built with an astonishing level of precision that still stuns experts today. While its funerary role is widely accepted, some theorists suggest the Serapeum may have served other, more mysterious purposes, especially considering the sheer scale and sophistication of its construction. Some even propose it could have been part of an ancient energy system or a technological facility, though such ideas remain controversial and are generally rejected by mainstream scholars. But here's the real kicker. These sarcophagi aren't just big stone boxes. Each one is carved from a single block of black granite, one of the hardest stones on Earth. Some of the lids alone weigh over 70 tons, and the original uncarved blocks could have been over 200 tons. What's truly baffling is the incredible precision of their design. The corners are perfectly square, the surfaces are polished so smoothly they feel almost machine-made, and the interior cavities were hollowed out with such accuracy it rivals modern engineering. This raises a serious question. Did the ancient Egyptians have access to advanced technology we no longer know about? The interiors of the boxes are just as impressive as the exteriors. Experts still don't understand how they managed to hollow out these massive granite blocks so flawlessly, especially when ancient Egyptian tools were supposedly limited to copper chisels, which are far too soft for this kind of work. The uniform thickness of the walls also suggests they used extremely accurate measuring tools, possibly more advanced than we thought existed at the time. The consistency and perfection of these granite boxes far exceed most other Egyptian stonework. Cutting and shaping such huge granite pieces would have required not just manpower, but advanced knowledge of stoneworking techniques, perhaps even tools or machines we've lost to history. Traditional theories that rely on basic copper tools just don't match up with the level of precision we're seeing here. So how did they do it? Some researchers believe that the builders may have had access to lost technologies, perhaps using high-speed drills, diamond-tipped tools, or machinery capable of shaping granite, with a level of efficiency that's hard to replicate even today. Even more puzzling is the actual function of these sarcophagi. If they were just coffins for sacred bulls, why go to such insane lengths to craft them with such perfection? Could they have had a deeper, more complex role, maybe something involving energy manipulation or a lost scientific purpose? Then there's the logistical nightmare of just moving these things. The underground tunnels of the Cereapium are narrow, winding and low-ceilinged, yet the builders somehow transported and placed granite boxes weighing 70 tons or more inside them. That alone would have required extreme engineering skills and deep knowledge of transport systems, and yet there's no clear evidence of how they did it. Also curious, there are no soot marks or torch burns inside the tunnels. So how did the workers light these pitch-black corridors while dragging multi-ton sarcophagi through them? Despite these lingering questions, mainstream archaeology attributes all this to sheer hard work, patience, and generations of skilled stonecutters. According to this view, the Egyptians didn't need advanced tech, just time and incredible dedication. But critics of that theory point out a major flaw. There's no physical evidence that ancient Egyptians had the tools needed to accomplish this level of work. Yet similar perfect granite boxes have been found all over Egypt, showing the same extreme precision, which suggests that this wasn't a one-time effort. It may have been a widespread technique using knowledge we've lost. At the Cairo Museum, one abandoned granite box shows an irregular angled cut, likely the result of a mistake. This flawed piece actually supports the idea that some kind of advanced, high-risk cutting method was being used. The depth and smoothness of the cut are impossible to achieve with traditional copper tools. Some theorists suggest that the cuts were made using rotary tools, possibly large circular saws or other equipment capable of cutting through granite quickly and cleanly. Traditional explanations often rely on the use of slow copper saws, but modern experiments show that copper tools cut granite at just 4 millimeters per hour. At that rate, it's nearly impossible to fix mistakes, and wouldn't result in the flawless boxes we see. Simply put, the precision, symmetry and craftsmanship of these granite sarcophagi do not line up with what we know of ancient Egyptian tools and methods. Across Egypt, these massive stone boxes remain a permanent challenge to conventional archaeology. They hint at a lost technique, a forgotten technology, or even an unknown chapter of human history that we've barely begun to understand. Finally, I just want to say thank you for listening and joining me on this journey through some of history's greatest mysteries. If you enjoyed what you heard, please subscribe, like and leave a comment. And don't forget